Oh, fuck no. I'm out of there. I don't even want to see that bitch. Fuck the tarantulas. How to Kill a Game. The sad, greedy death of LittleBigPlanet.
What's the biggest threat to the survival of a beloved game? Is it A, an uncaring developer who's moved on to something else? B, an inattentive publisher?
The anarchist made this shit a month ago? No way.
Who only cares about profits? Or C, a ruthless hacker whose only objective is to cause chaos? For LittleBigPlanet, the answer was all three. It went from a staple of Sony's PlayStation consoles with millions of loyal fans to an abandoned mess with dead servers and no plans for a comeback.
Damn,
Hi,
bro.
I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we're taking a closer look at the sad death of LittleBigPlanet, how it reached the sorry state it's in today, what made it popular in the first place,
R.I.P.
and how some
LittleBigPlanet,
people
man.
are still hopeful for its return. But as you'll see by the end of this video, that's looking increasingly unlikely with each passing day. That said, to fully understand the tragedy of LittleBigPlanet, we first have to go back to where it all started. LittleBigPlanet was the brainchild of Alex Evans and Mark Healy, two of the names behind the now legendary Fable. After witnessing a sizable layoff at their
They came from Fable? No way.
company, Lionhead Studio, the two decided to leave with two more of their colleagues and form their own studio,
I didn't know.
Media Molecule, with their first title
Shout out
being
to
an
Media
ambitious
Molecule.
platformer that would go on to become LittleBigPlanet. However, as a ragtag group of artists and programmers, they lacked both the resources and the time to create a fully fledged game, and then simply hope that it will be a success. They needed funding fast. So after some brainstorming, they quickly put together a bare bones demo called Mr. Yellowhead in 2005, which, despite its crude graphics, had a lot of gameplay similarities with the final game. Sony immediately saw the potential in the idea, and after seeing a bit more of the game over the next 6 months, decided to publish it exclusively on their upcoming PlayStation 3 console. LittleBigPlanet was going to be a platform unlike any other, with a unique, timeless art style, and an emphasis on player creativity and user-generated content. Sony first unveiled it to the public at the 2007 Game Developers Conference, immediately winning the hearts of thousands who couldn't wait to get their hands on the game.
Yo, I was so happy when I saw this shit.
However, Sony wanted it to be ready by the end of the year, including the fully fleshed out level editor. It was hard work, but Media Molecule persevered, managing to deliver on each one of their promises at the game's launch in October of 2008. And the players couldn't have been happier. It sold millions of copies, was adored by the critics, and for a good reason. It had everything players wanted and more. The art style was just incredibly charming, the platforming mechanics were tuned to perfection, it had some of the most versatile character customization options at the time, and most importantly, the level editor was just as feature-rich and intuitive as everyone had hoped. However, the feature that turned LittleBigPlanet from just another fun game to a cultural phenomenon was its accompanying website, lbp.me. After logging in with their PlayStation Network account,
oh my god, I forgot about that website, dude. I think I had an account on that shit. Does lbp.me still exist?
players could share their own creations.
Does that shit?
Or
I'm about to look
dive
at
into
my
an
phone.
ever-growing library of levels made by others. Put simply, there was an essentially endless supply of fresh content. Within just a year of the game's launch, players had already uploaded over 1 million unique levels, collectively playing them more than 240 million times. What players didn't know at the time was that this website would also become a big reason for the game's downfall. But for the time being,
no
it was
way.
what kept players hooked long past a typical platformer's shelf life. Media Molecule also kept working on the game, patching out bugs, adding new cosmetic options, and releasing DLC content to keep fans happy. And it worked, with a review from back in the day stating, LittleBigPlanet is perfect. It's as simple as that. What these satisfied players didn't realize was that their favorite game was about to become a whole lot better. The explosive success of LittleBigPlanet gave Media Molecule the confidence to start working on a sequel.
When I tell y'all LittleBigPlanet 2 was, it's like, you ever play LittleBigPlanet 1 and they were like, the game is perfect, there's no way they could add on more shit to this game to make it even better? Son, 2 was a different level, bro.
immediately after the first
Oh
game's
my
release.
God, bro.
However, players weren't as enthusiastic about a sequel as you might imagine, and the reason was simple. The level editor. Many had poured countless hours into crafting over 3 million unique levels by this point. If the new game was incompatible with their creations, all their hard work would have gone to waste. This wouldn't have just hurt the sequel's sales, it risked splitting the LittleBigPlanet community in two. Those eager to explore the new tools and mechanics, and those unwilling to abandon the treasure trove of player-made content they'd come to love.
Shark attack
Fortunately,
levels!
Media Molecule understood this challenge better than most, and spent a lot of resources looking for a solution. Then, on the 10th of May 2010, they announced LittleBigPlanet 2, showcasing the sheer amount of variety that was possible with the new level editor. The new and improved creative toolset allowed players to create not just platforming levels, but entirely different game genres, with Media Molecule going as far as to claim that it wasn't just a quote platform game, instead was going to be quote a platform for games. Above all, they reassured the fanbase that LittleBigPlanet 2 would be fully backwards compatible with the previous title. The game finally came out in January of 2011, and to no one's surprise, quickly became the favorite of both the critics and longtime players.
The first LittleBigPlanet game was great. It was amazing. It was the start of an awesome community, and it did some really creative things. It gave people a ton of tools to work with to create some great levels. But if you take a look at its sequel, there's really no reason to go back.
It was the perfect sequel, which made everything better without destroying what players loved about the original. This also resulted in it becoming a massive financial success, selling over 350,000 copies in its first couple of weeks, and becoming the fourth most sold game in January 2011.
I wanted that crown so bad.
It was all downhill from here. Now, you'd think that after two wildly successful releases, Media Molecule would keep the momentum going and knock the third entry out of the park. However, before players had the chance to get their hopes up, they received devastating news. Media Molecule was handing over the development of the third game to a different studio, Sumo Digital, a studio that had...
This is where everything goes to shit! Everything went to shit after this! You had something so perfect! And then you hand it over to these bitches!
little experience with the franchise. This was going to be an uphill battle. Not only did Sumo have to improve upon the already fantastic LittleBigPlanet 2, they had to do it while keeping it backwards compatible with the millions of levels players created for the previous two games. And since they were replacing a respected studio, they also risked angering the existing fans with even the tiniest mistake. Unfortunately for Sumo, things did not get off to a good...
Yup, because I remember one of the first changes that they did, bro. There was a system in LittleBigPlanet 2 where it was called the yay or the nay system. If the level was good, yay! If the level sucked, you gave it a frown. They took that whole shit away. So now we couldn't differentiate if the level sucked or if the level was good. Every level I was going up to, if a level sucked, oh man, I used to leave full-fledged reviews, bro. I used to attach my keyboard to my PlayStation 3 and leave reviews like a troll. If the level was great, yay! Level was phenomenal. From start to finish, had a great time. Would love to play again. I recommend this level to anybody who comes in. If the level sucked, nay. Level sucked ass. Asterisk, asterisk, because we can't curse. I would never play this level again. Do not recommend, do not play. Yo, I was going off. Then they took that shit away. And I was like, what? Now I can't even give a downvote to the level if it sucks ass? And then it was just copy pasta slop. Fuck.
Start. They drastically cut down the scope of the game, removing several characters, storylines,
This level
and
is
planned
ass.
features from
Don't
the
play
first game.
IT. Worst 5 minutes of my life.
Yes.
I could have spent that time doing your mom, but I didn't, and I hate IT.
Facts. Thank you for the 100 biddies, bro. And then there was this one guy called Latin Player 25. Fuck that dude. He ruined the levels.
game. And if that wasn't bad enough, Sony stepped in and made things even worse. Instead of helping the studio with more time and resources, Sony barged in one day and ordered them to make a version for the upcoming PlayStation 4 as well. In other words, Sumo now had to create 2 different versions of the game they were already struggling to complete in time.
Terrible.
This was catastrophic.
Sony, you fuckers. Y'all fucked up so much shit, man. How the hell you fuck up such a good IP?
For the game's development, something that would become apparent the second it was released to the public. LittleBigPlanet 3 came out in November of 2014, and it was by far the glitchiest, most unfinished
The glitchiest, most unfinished, bro. Man.
entry into the franchise. Players were struggling to play user-generated levels, and in many instances, wiping their save files was the only way to get past the error message. And this was just the tip of the iceberg. Sometimes the game crashed bad enough to nearly brick the console it was running on. Sumo tried to fix these glitches with patches, but the core issues never went away. With one angry player on Reddit writing, 1 year later, and LittleBigPlanet 3 is still broken. This is unacceptable. The online barely functions, and there's still glitches where I fell off levels. On top of that, there's still many crashes. The broken game was turning longtime players away from the franchise, with one such person voicing his disappointment, stating, "Man, this game makes me so depressed. I loved the first 2 so much. Used LittleBigPlanet 2 to propose to my wife."
Damn. He proposed to his wife using LBP 2?
And I was so excited for this one. We haven't touched it in months. I have never been let down so hard as I was by this game. But this begs the question, why? Why did Media Molecule abandon its star franchise to a third-party studio? Well, when asked about it, the studio's community manager stated that they made this decision so that they could focus on their next big project called Dreams.
Bro, and Dreams, bro, it's like... I like Dreams, right? Like, Dreams was okay. I played this game. I liked it. But it wasn't like LittleBigPlanet, bro. Something about LittleBigPlanet just hit, bro. You said, was it worth it? Look, I like Dreams. I'm not going to say it was terrible because I do like the user-created levels. I think I have Dreams on my PlayStation. I could, like, log in. I think I played it one time on stream. The levels are pretty cool. But it's like, I don't know, bro. LittleBigPlanet just hit way better for me. It was worth it.
A full-blown creation engine that allowed users to make everything from games and animations to music, all on their PS4. Admittedly, this was the next evolution of the creative tools the studio built for LittleBigPlanet 2, but them abandoning the franchise that made them popular in the first place was still the wrong move in many people's eyes. Some might even argue that it would have been better if the third game just never came out, and instead, those resources were spent on updating and maintaining the second. Despite its poor reception, however, its availability on 2 consoles instead of just 1 significantly boosted the game's financial performance, allowing it to sell over 5.5 million copies to date. In an ideal world, these high sales figures would directly translate to more players making more content and extending its shelf life. Unfortunately for the fans, LittleBigPlanet 3 was about to face a challenge far more devastating than the occasional game-breaking bug. In November of 2022, LBP.me, the website cataloging user-generated levels, went down after an attack from unknown hackers. And while the site was restored shortly after, this marked the beginning of its total destruction. You see, the solution Media Molecule came up with for backwards compatibility was to host all of the information on the same server. This made it easier to keep track of player statistics across the 3 different entries. However, even though this method was highly effective, it also came with a serious drawback. Any security vulnerability from the original 2008 LittleBigPlanet now affected everything that followed. Judging by the sudden website blackout, it was clear that
I didn't know that's what happened. That's terrible. That's so bad, bro. Because LittleBigPlanet 1 was so old, I guess like people were like, oh, we could easily hack and exploit this shit and go into the servers. Fuck, dude. They never updated that shit?
that someone had found a way to exploit that vulnerability. And as expected, the hacker returned on the 6th of March 2021 and shut down the game's online functionality with a DDoS attack. Anyone who tried to play a user-generated level was met with an error message stating that a problem had occurred. After staying silent for 4 days, Sumo finally took the servers down on March the 10th, claiming that they did so to, quote, investigate some technical issues. These servers remained offline till May, but even after coming back online, things weren't right. Players were experiencing strange crashes and glitches that were never an issue before. The cycle of Sumo taking the servers down, bringing them back online, and getting attacked by hackers continued a couple of times, before coming to a stop in April 2024. Not because Sumo patched the vulnerability, but because they decided to pull the plug, shutting servers down for good and killing the game completely. The franchise that had held strong for over 15 years was finally dead in the water. Some fans tried to protest this decision online to no avail. They had nowhere left to go. While technically, there was one game they could still play, a spin-off called Sackboy: A Big
Hell no, bro. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is not the same, bro. That game was not the same. This is like a platformer. This thing had nothing to do with, like, you know, because the whole reason why we like Little Big Planet was because of user created levels and the create aspect of the game. Damn, bro.
Adventure, which came out in November of 2020. Unfortunately, this version of the game lacked the one feature that made Little Big Planet special in the first place: user-generated content, resulting in most fans seeing this spin-off as an insult and hating it with a passion, with one person even equating it to receiving a middle finger from the developers and Sony. In the end, seeing such a beloved game go out like this is just sad. As a YouTube comment puts it,
bro.
as much as I'm devastated to see it gone, I think what's even sadder is that I will always see Little Big Planet as something that was killed rather than something that just died on its own. There were better ways to handle this than wiping the servers and converting millions upon millions of user-created levels to nothing.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, chat. Me watching this video just made me sadder because I did not know that's how Little Big Planet went out. I thought it went out because, like, they just didn't care about it. I didn't know it was because hackers fucking destroyed the servers and legit just killed it. And then they just pulled the plug on it because they didn't want to fix it. That even makes me sadder, bro. That fucking sucks, dude.
More than lost media. That being said, some fans are still clinging to hope. Some are wildly speculating based on job listings at Sumo Digital. Others are hatching elaborate plans to resurrect the game themselves, like turning the game's mascot into a viral meme so Sony would see the potential in bringing back the franchise.
Man, Sony not bringing that shit back, bro. Sony's not gonna bring that shit back. Because Sony, they don't see no money in it. Astrobot? What do you mean Astrobot? Astrobot's not Little Big Planet. The play, create, and share whole thing was from Little Big Planet. And Astrobot, you're only playing. You're not creating and you're not sharing. Astrobot is a cool platformer, but it's not Little Big Planet. Use Little Big Planet 2 to my wife. That's a story there. I remember when people said with Astrobot, Sony finally got their company icon like Nintendo has Super Mario. Like they did, like they forgot about Sackboy. I met my first PlayStation 3. Yo, I'm telling you, I made so many friends in the UK in Little Big Planet, bro. And I still remember their names. One of them was named Sam and one of them was named Claire. I don't know where they're at in life, but I miss them because I used to talk to them like crazy, bro. Yeah. No, yo, Sam, I know his government name, but I'm not saying it because that's like, I know his first and last name, government name. That's how tight we were. We used to talk all day in Little Big Planet, and he had a whole British accent, bro. He used to be like, hello, money, how are you? And I'm like, yo, Sam, what's up, bro? we used to be playing not Five Nights at Freddy's, Jack the Killer, bro. Jeff the Killer levels, man. We used to be like, yo, Sam, come on, man, let's run over here. Then we used to make our own houses, and when we made our own houses, we used to act like we made like our own computer setups, and we made our own like bedrooms and stuff, and we had like our own apartment complexes, bro. It was crazy. It was crazy, bro. This game was my childhood. I'm really sad to not see it anymore. Big fan of you covering this game. Yeah, I'm glad that I got to know what happened, but it's so sad, bro. Don't remind me, my childhood for years, I grew up with this game. A game, okay, a video of Peak being killed off because Nowadays, companies don't want to take the risk to have fun anymore. You said if I have his PSN? I think so. I think I have his PSN. Let me see. Let me see if I have his PSN. I'm still thinking of that one fucking song from Xenoblade. Not Xenoblade, Stellar Blade. I need to know like the full shit of that song. That's a good song. How do I search up my friends? Let me see. Search for friends. Let me see if I still got him. I probably still got him. Oh shit, I do. I still have him as a friend. Last online over a year ago. Damn. He hasn't been online in over a year. I can't even show it because his government name is there. You know why? Because I have him as close friends. And it's like his whole first and last name. Damn, bruh. I searched him up. Do I still got this girl? What was her name? Claire? Wasn't it Claire? I don't think our... Damn, bruh. Wait, 2 mutual friends. Who's mutual friends? No way that's the same Claire. Nah, that gotta be the same Claire because she's friends with him. I'm about to send her a random ass message. Last online over a year ago? Oh my god, bro. United Kingdom, that is her. I'm gonna send her a message. Hold on. Yo, if you ever see this. I miss you and Sam. Now, you know what's funny? I used to be annoyed by her because she used to always join my lobby randomly, bro. And she always had mad shark teeth in her hair. And I used to be like, get out my lobby, bro. Hold on. I gotta send her a message, bro. I said, yo, if you ever see this, I miss you and Sam. I remember playing LBP2 with you guys for days. Damn, bro. Oh, I forgot to ask if it's her. But the name is there. Oh my god, bro. I feel so sad thinking about this game, bro. Yo, I feel like digging up my PS3. Nah, but my PS3 don't work. Oh my gosh, bro. My PS3 don't work, though. I don't think it works. Hell no. Imagine me trying to log back into my PS3. Nah, dude, that's going to take forever. I'm going to have to, like... No, but it's like, you know what I want to look through? I want to look through my... Could you take pictures on your PS3? What games played 6 years ago? Little Big Planet 3. She played Little Big Planet 3 6 years ago. Does she have Little Big Planet 2? Wait a minute. I'm trying to see, like... Her name is the Honey Claire developer. Is she a developer now? That'd be insane if she's like a UK game developer now. I'd be like, bitch, you remember me? She'd be like, money? I'm like, you remember me? I'll be like, you had the shark hair all the time, and we were in that fucking apartment complex with Sam all day just talking about dumb shit. She'd be like, I think I remember. I'd be like, no, I know you remember me. I was the only loud motherfucker in the comms yelling all the time. I'm trying to find Little Big Planet 2. I wouldn't be surprised if she got a whole husband, kids. It's been so many years, bro. Life changes. I'm trying to find Little Big Planet 2. What if she and Sam got together? Bro, I think I might tear up just hearing shit like that, bro. Because I'll be like, wow, there's no way. Wait, Little Big Planet 2 was a PS3 game? It's not a PS4 game. Oh, no, it only goes back down to PS4 games. Oh, no, I can't see Little Big Planet 2. 1 and 2 are PS3. Fuck, dude, this shit is only going to PS4. Hold on, I gotta send the message to Sam, too. Oh my god, bruh. I did send him a message, but he never seen it, bro. I don't think he's ever logging back into this shit. Bro, I hope nothing happened to him. Like, you know, like sometimes you don't know what happens with people in life, bro. I hope to God like nothing happened, like he passed away or some shit, dude. This shit makes me sad. I'm looking back at the message logs. I sent him a message in March 15th, 2020. Oh my god, bro. I am such a sap. Oh my god. Yo, chat, I'm about to tear up just looking at this message that I just sent. Nah, bro, look at this. Look at this, look at this, look at this, bro. Hold on, hold on. Look at this. Bro, I sent him this shit in 2020. Bro, I told him, look at this. I just want to let you know, even though we barely talk, you are an... I don't know if I typoed that. You are our brother on PlayStation. I miss the good old days of playing Little Big Planet, countless hours with you and Claire. Hope life been treating you good, man. Stay safe out there. Much love. Yo, and I give him my old name too. Yo. Yo, you see, look, I was so serious about Little Big Planet, bro. This game just hit different, bro. I miss like people I used to play with, man. Fucking A, 2020. And we were playing Little Big Planet 2 like 2014, bro. Yo, you see yo, that's why I told you guys, when I used to hop in Call of Duty lobbies and that was my name, I used to get roasted. I used to get roasted, bro. They used to be like, Manny, you fucking Mexican. I was like, oh, here we go, bro. They came for my soul, bro. They came for my soul in them Call of Duty lobbies. I had to change my name. The Honey Claire? No way, that's probably her. Say on God, give me a sec. Ew, what the fuck is that? Hold on. Ew, what the fuck is this? Ew, what the fuck is this? you guys found her. No way. Nah, I'm gonna hit him with a follow. And then I'm gonna hit him with a message. Damn, but this is 2024. Wait a minute, she responded June 20th. Hold on, I gotta add her real quick. I just want to ask her. I just want to catch up on life. I just want to see how she been, bro. You said detectives? Fuck! Why doesn't she have DMs open?
This is retro right now. Link.
A guy on Team Fortress 2 talking on the mic with a thick Arab accent. You all go now. Go to fight the bad. I stay, defend. They no get past. I stay. You go fight. I alone stay for to defend. Take their box. I stay. Someone tells him to shut the fuck up. I tell them to shut the fuck up and let him talk if he wants, because I think he's funny to listen to. He adds me.
Yo, true, bro. That's how gaming was back in the day. On God, I made friends like that in Call of Duty. I made friends in Call of Duty like that. Like this motherfucker, I'm telling you, his name was Aram Bobo. He was old as hell, and I didn't give a fuck, bro. I swear to God, I was like, probably like 18, between 16 to 18 or some shit. I don't know if I'm getting the timelines right, but I know I was like young, and he was definitely like probably in like his mid-20s. And once I heard him in the lobby, me and him, we were playing every single day. Every time I went online, I'm like, yo, Aramabo, you live? All right, let's play some Call of Duty 4. Oh, man.
Fucking game I play with him, he does the exact same shit. I am tank. I wait by helicopter. You kill. I won't let through. You kill. Boomerman, go, vomit. I alone guard helicopter. You go. You put portal there. Good. I wait. You discover answer. I know answer. Keep portal there. I will put portal when need. Keep putting portal. Good. Do you see? I wait. You put portal. Good. Just talking, non-stop, every fucking game we play. Arab Spring starts. I have no idea where he lives. One day, he sends me a message. Bad times, friend, ahead.
What?
Maybe no computer. Maybe no home. I will go away, but we are two of soul.
What?
I will return.
That's sad.
Last online,
No!
615 days ago.
No! What the fuck, bro? Why you
Alright,
gonna
so
break
let's
my
talk about a
heart?
bit of a warning
No!
for the Nintendo Switch 2 markets.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. Don't show me shit like that. That shit breaks my heart, dude. I don't know, bro. It's something. No way. That gotta be her. That gotta be the same Claire I was friends with. But I'll never forget the time with the game and the friends that I made from it, but not being able to see the community shining creatively sucks. Yo. Hold on. The emo scene girl hair with the shark teeth. My spelling is ass. Yo, if she hits me with the who the fuck is this, I'm gonna be like, no way, because this is her. This has to be her. This has to be her. This has to be her. It has to be. It has to be. It's just I want to reconnect type shit and just be like, how you been? I just want to know how people been, bro. It's been such a long time. I want to know how people been. It's like a life check-in, bro. Blocked. That'd be the worst case scenario. Imagine she's like, oh, that motherfucker found me. I don't want him to talk about the shit that we used to do in Little Big Planet. I'd be like, hey. Mind you, we didn't do no dumb shit. Look, if y'all think we did inappropriate shit, no, bro. All we did was fun shit. We played bomb survival levels, shark survival levels, and we just went in apartment complexes and we were just making different outfits and shit. That's it. This is gonna end so badly. No, I hope it doesn't, bro. I hope it does not. You know what's crazy? I don't even think she does not know, bro. There's another girl, bro, that I used to know. I don't even know if I ever told you guys this, bro. There's a girl right now on Twitch that's I'm not gonna say she's a super popular streamer, but she has a good viewership in streaming, and I used to play Call of Duty 4 every day with her. And when I found her on Twitch, I was like, no way. We used to play COD 4 all the fucking time. But I don't want to say who the hell she is because I feel like y'all guys are going to be weird and y'all going to get in her chat and shit. And she probably live right now, but I'm not even going to look that shit up, bro. You said, bro, knows so many girls. Bro, I used to know her. She was a girl, bro. She used to live in Canada, bro. Yo, and we used to talk all the time. Me and her friends. I remember one of her friends, bro. You said don't say it? Nah, I can't say it, bro. I'm telling you, bro, I used to be crazy in PlayStation 3. I used to have so much online friends. Chat detectives going on right now. Let me see if she's live right now. She's probably live. She's always live because she's always live, bro. She's always live, but I never want to be weird, you know, like bothering her in her chat. But I know for a fact, if I ever go in there and I be like, yo, how you been? Remember when we used to play COD 4? She gonna be like, yo, I remember when we used to play COD 4. Oh yeah, she live right now. Let me not bother her. You said seeing her streaming the reflection of your glasses? Nah, bro. But those were good times, bro. PS3 era, I don't know, man. It was just a different time. It was just a different time. You said seeing her streaming the reflection of your glasses. You said don't even say if she is. PS3 was the right time. It was just, man, because it's like PlayStation 3 was like you went online once. And what I miss is like the era of people just hopping in lobbies and talking. Even though I know there's always weirdos on the internet. I don't know why when I was younger, I used to always dodge the
I
weirdos.
feel you, man. There was this one friend I had a falling out with caused some personal issues. She blocked me but never unfriended me on PlayStation, and I waited so long to reach out to her again. And when I finally got the courage to shiz a whole streamer now, even got a VTuber model. Now I barely feel confident to talk with her anymore with how big she gotten.
Damn.
We talked one time after, but I ain't bother since then.
I know. Look, I know that feeling, bro. I know that feeling. Sometimes it be like that too, where it's kind of like I haven't talked to that specific person that's a streamer right now, and it's kind of like I don't want to be annoying, you know what I mean? But definitely every time like I see her live, I always think of back of like when me and my friends from high school used to play Call of Duty with her and her other friend in Canada, and we used to just always lobby up. Bro, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. It got to a point where like motherfuckers was catching feelings back in the day, constantly playing with them in like an online lobby. It was insane, bro. But I gotta keep that shit. I gotta keep that shit.
I feel the same way when I spam you with
Yo.
bits.
Thank you, Al. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Nah, bro. I appreciate you, Al, making me blush and shit. Look at my tongue. I feel like I saw this one Puerto Rican girl do that shit. She was like, on Instagram, she was like, period. And I was like, girl, put your tongue away. I'm sorry, man. He says, you're going to speak to every girl in Canada and tell them about a certain Dominican what?